All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Club Excel. Today is session number 8, and we are going to be talking about analyzing reports. And before we do that, we've already done our sound check and screen check. If you're unable to hear me, then you probably have to set your sound settings. For those who've just joined in for the first time, what is Club Excel? It is basically bite-sized trainings. So we do one thing or a few things or in connection with that one thing in one session. So you get a whole month to practice those things. We do tend to open it up for all levels. So beginners, intermediates, and somewhat intermediate advanced as well. But what I try to do is I try to touch on a few things in the middle for intermediate users as well. So they're not sort of bored. But we do need to consider that the beginners are primarily because the beginners tend to sort of not follow a lot of things that intermediate level could. So I'm going to go a little bit slower. This is pragmatic tailored learning. So we're not going to talk about all the good things in Excel. We are only going to talk about things which will work for you in your job, and which is really tailored. And of course, I'm recording this session, so it's always available. Now we have our new SharePoint page. I'm going to tell you more about that later, and you can find all the recordings not only on the YouTube but also on the SharePoint page. So let's start off. We always start off with the problem and we solve it with our Excel solution. So this time around, our problem is how do we make meaning from a raw data to take effective decisions. Okay, so raw data just click forward. Raw data to effective decisions. What's the route? It's very, very simple. If you would sit with somebody who works on Excel, they would take you through this cycle. You complete the raw data, you clean it, then you understand what your queries are. What do you want to do with that data? Or what would your manager or your senior management team would want you to present from that data? Or what are your questions out of that data? And then you fill in the missing. So sometimes the data is not always complete. So you need to add some formulas, get some more data, or do some massaging to it. So to complete the missing parts so that it completes your queries. And then you create a dashboard which helps you make that decisions. Now, we are going to be talking about these three today. So cleaning, putting the right queries, and filling the missing parts. And there's one thing for intermediate learners that you're going to love today. I'm saving it for later, but I'm just giving you a heads up. It is how artificial intelligence is going to help us in Excel. You heard that right. I'm saying artificial intelligence is now on your Excel, and how that will help us do things better, faster, easier, simpler. And of course, the beginners are already going to love it, but the intermediate users, this is going to be for you. We are going to clean the data. We're going to set aside our queries, and then we are looking at those queries. We're going to fill out the missing. And then next session, which is on October 22nd, we are going to be doing a dashboard. So I've kept this session for the dashboard. We're going to do it in sequence. So whatever data we're going to use today, we're going to be using the exact same data which we have cleaned, sort out the queries, filled in the missing data. And we are not only going to make a dashboard, but intermediate learners, you're going to learn interactive dynamic dashboard, which means that you can actually, it just updates by itself, one, as you keep adding more data, and two, it's dynamic, which means you can use slices and all of those moving parts to a dashboard, which gives you all the clarity in the data. So, and then we're going to go into, it helps making the decisions. So let's start off. We're going to start off with cleansing, then queries, and then filling in the missing part. So and then artificial intelligence is going to come into filling the missing part. So let's start off. I have attached example 8 practice file on your meeting requests. If everybody can open up this file, please. And there is an option to raise your hands. We're going to be doing that a lot. So I know that you are with me. So if you could please raise your hands if everybody has opened up their Excel sheet and is ready to go. Now, one more thing, I've been noticing and I've been practicing since the last 3-4 sessions that some of our colleagues are working from home and they might not have dual screens, which makes things faster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit slower. So apologies to those who do have dual screens, but we need to make sure that everybody goes together. So, all right. So most of the people have their hands raised. I'll give another shot. Please raise your hand if you have your Excel sheet open. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 21, 25, 26. Don't put your hands down. Okay. 30. We have more people. Okay, all right. So everybody seems to have this file open. This I have designed. Now look, special thanks to Malcolm Wood and Celine in operations sending the data. Of course, Mel asked me to not use the exact data for some confidential reasons. So what I've done is I've really massaged everything that he sent me. I've changed everything. So there's nothing in there except for maybe the brand names that we're going to use. But this is an actual file that one of our businesses uses. So let's look at this file and let's start cleaning it up. So sometimes you will get a file like this. Sometimes it's more formatted, but I'm just going to go supernatural. This is the file you've downloaded. So the very first things I do now, this file has a whole data of about 3,354 entries. Okay, so that's a big data. So the first thing I do is I select everything from clicking here and I change the font to maybe 10 and do a Calibri. Okay, so that's Calibri is the best font to use on Excel. So I do that. I keep it selected and I double click on, you see my cursor changes at the end of these columns. So I double click there. What this does is this opens up all the columns to their actual widths. So nothing is hidden. I'll just show you what I did. I want you to look at customer name. See this customer name, it's hidden. If you double click on it, it just opens it up. So now you can see everything. Then what I also like to do is I centralize some of the things. Let me just, let's go with centralized. We'll change it later. And then I select the row of the heading. These are the headings. I select the row and I make them yellow and bold. So now I have, it looks kind of nicer, more visually appealing. So we've done the, let's go back. We've done the font, we've done the columns, we've done the headings, we've done the colors. Let's also now go back and do some, one more thing. Now look at the headings here. These are system generated headings. And if you look at it, now this is HR full name. And this is from an actual system. I haven't changed it. So, but these are basically going to be our sales reps. So the whole idea of creating an Excel sheet is that your rule of thumb is that you should always create an Excel sheet, which if you leave the room, another person comes, sits down, should be able to understand exactly what you're trying to say. So I'm going to change a few things here. So I'm going to say order number. Okay, I'm going to say location. I'm going to say sum of orders or quantity. Customer name is perfect. I don't need to change anything. PO number. Let this be. Now this is going to be sales rep. For me to be able to understand it easily, yeah. I don't need to change this, don't change this, no change, no change. Okay, ordered quantity. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to simplify it, and look, it's not necessary, but later on when we are creating dashboard, you will see the real benefit of doing this right now. Sum of, okay, I'm not going to change this. I don't need this. Selling price per unit. Okay, so I don't think you have this, so I'm just going to hide it. So selling price. Okay, so I've changed a few things, the headings, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control T. Now what I'm doing is I'm converting this into a table, and those of you who do not know what a table is, you need to go back and see session number 4 or 5. We've covered tables in that, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but my table does have headings, so I'm going to check on this one and say, okay, now my table has converted into my entire data is converted into table. So I'm going to select again the top one and change the font to black so that it's more legible. It just went white because of the formatting. So now this is a table. And if I click here, I get this extra tab, which I wasn't getting before, table design. And I'm going to name this table. Again, this is critical when we go into dashboard. So I'm going to say sales report. Now, those of you who are with me and who have done all the things that I've been doing, can you please raise your hand? Thank you. Yep. Okay, keep it up. All right, thank you. So just to recap, I just cleaned the data. I changed the font size, I changed the heading, converted this into a table. So now, just to give you a little bit of an insight, if I add more things to below or on the side, it will just complete it as a table. So there are lots of benefits of having a table. Okay, now let's go. Now we have done this. Let's go back and talk about queries. What are queries? Now, there is no Excel word for it, but what are you trying to get out of this data is the query, right? What is the question you're trying to answer? So are you trying to get, let's say these are the top 10. If you go into the queries, I've listed down the top 10 queries that my manager or the person I'm presenting to, or for myself, is going to ask. What are the total sales? What is the total GP? Let's say GP, okay? What is sales by month? Sales by customer. So how many customers bought how much? Sales by rep, brand by sales. So what was the top selling brand and what was the lowest selling brand? All of those. Branch locations by sales. So remember, these are the locations. Where are they? Locations. So these are the branch locations. So which branch was selling how much? Okay. Branch location by customer. So which customer was buying from which branch the most? And then units by brand. How much? So this was units by sale. This one, but this is units by brand, which means how many units of each brand, what was the turnover? And then again, this is the brands by GP. How much gross profit were we making from each brand? So these are my queries. Now, what I've done is I've hidden some of the things. If you could please select these 3 columns and change the font, you will be able to see what what I need, what ingredients I need to answer these queries. So if you've done this, if you've changed the font color and you're able to see it, please raise your hand. And keep your hand raised, please do not put it down so I can see the total number. And then I like to make sure we're together and the majority is with me so we can move forward that way. Okay, all right. You may put your hands down. Thank you very much. So here, I'm just going to explain total sales. We need the sales number, total GP. We need the purchase price, selling price. So let's talk about this one first. Total sales. Do we have the sales number? Let's go forward and see selling price. We have the selling price per unit, and we have the quantity ordered. We do not have the sales total sales. So let's put the total sales. So what we're doing is we're now going into the next part of filling up stuff. Okay, so I'm going to stay total sales, and because this is a table, just watch this adds into a part of that table. So now what should be my formula? Quickly, all formulas start with an equal sign. Selling price, and this is a multiplication sign. The asterisk is a multiplication sign. I will multiply it by the quantity ordered. Now, if you've noticed, the cell number is not coming, the headings are coming. This makes it super easy. Selling price per unit and orders quantity. I close the bracket, press enter, and wait, sorry, let's do that again. This asterisk, multiply sign, this, enter, and here I have the selling price times quantity. So if you look at this number, this was the selling price per unit. We sold 8 units, and therefore we are making total sales of 17,715.2. And I would like to convert this into this and add a dollar sign to it. Okay. And let me just put it down to 1, or rather remove the decimal point altogether, because we're talking round numbers. Yeah. So now you've seen that. I'll just repeat it for those who if I went fast, I'll just delete it, go back. Okay. So what I did was I came to added a new column, total sales. I multiplied the selling unit. Make this bigger. This times this quantity, press enter, and it autofills everything because it's a table. It autofills everything. So now you have all of this. Then I selected the whole column. I selected this comma and removed this decimal point and added a dollar sign to it. Okay, so now I have my total sales. So this query is done. So this is done. Purchase price, selling price. I have the purchase price. I do not have the selling. I have the selling price. I do not have the purchase price. So which means you will have to go back to the system and get your purchase price. Now, if you could just unhide, select the O and the Q and unhide from here, you should be able to see the purchase price. I've already added it from before. So if you are able to do that, could you please raise your hand so I know, and keep your hands raised. I will, and if you aren't able to do that, please ask me a question, leave a question, and I would be happy to go back to it. All I did was I selected O to R or later, and I right clicked and unhide. You should be able to see unit purchase price. Okay, so this is the unit purchase price. So what I will do is I will add another column, because I also want the total purchase price, because this is giving me for 1 unit. I will need it according to the number of quantities ordered. So I will put a formula is equal to this times quantities ordered, and there you have it. I will convert this into dollar and remove this. So now I have total purchase price and total sales, and this is good. So I will be able to get these two done. Sales is there, date is there. Yes, done, done. This is easy. This is easy. This will be done. this will be done, and this will be done. So now all of my queries can be answered because I have all of those things on my headings. Now, because I have just listed down my queries and there are a few things which are not required, I'm just going to hide them. I don't need order number. I don't need the quantity. I need this. I don't need the PO number. I don't need this. All I'm doing is selecting the column and hiding it. I don't need this. I do need the order date. I don't need the order due date, ordered quantity. Yes, I don't need this. This is a replication and I need this. So now this is my final data. All right, so I have just these columns visible on my screen. I have removed all the garbage. I have not deleted it, but I've removed it from my line of sight. So I'm now working with these few things only. It's now clean. Anybody can come in, read it, and understand what is happening on this Excel. And if you are with me, you know what to do. Keep it traced, don't put it down. So I should know how many have completed it. Right, so again, if you are, there was one question. Oh, okay, Neil, your entire header auto-filled with the header unit price purchase. That's okay. So Neil, what you need to do is you need to delete, you put in the formula. Okay, no, okay. So close the sheet, come back to it, and just try to do, yes, please close and start again. Okay, we'll just move forward, Neil, because we're short on time, but this is recorded, so you can always watch the video and continue with us later. Okay, so let's see if you can catch up, but otherwise you can always watch it later. Okay, so we'll continue. So now we have a good quality of data, which is available to us now, and we can now go into solving our queries by using a lot of other tools that we will be doing next time. So all of these things will be coming on our dashboard. A beautiful looking dynamic dashboard, which is also interactive. So it's interactive and dynamic, and it's super easy. You don't need to worry whether you are a beginner or an intermediate level. It's going to be super easy. It's going to be interactive, and you're going to love it. Okay, I'm a little finicky about the looks, so it's going to be a good looking one. Let's hope so. So now is the time when I just show you something. And we are going to talk about the thing I spoke about in the beginning. Let's talk about the artificial intelligence. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Is basically machine learning. Your machine is understanding what you want and then taking decisions on its own. Okay, there are certain movies which have been giving artificial learning a negative connotation. I'm not going to go into that. And Tesla self-driving cars is artificial intelligence. So basically, they understand each and every sort of scenario and that is inserted into the machine, and then the machine sort of makes its decision going forward, keeping those commands in mind that were filled in from before. So that artificial intelligence in Excel is called flash fill. Okay, so flash fill is basically, we're going to come into this slide. I have some 10 examples I'm going to show you with flash fill. So if you're with me, please raise your hand and keep it raised. Thank you very much. Okay, now what is flash fill? This is going to make your life super easy. Okay, you're going to love it. I want to separate these two. Remember our first or second session, we did a formula called left, right, and concatenate. I still can't pronounce it. So, but if I am teaching my machine, let's say I come here and I want to separate this, and I just do the first one. Okay, and I click here, select these empty sections, and I go into fill on your top right, go into fill. It doesn't show. Let me just do one column at a time. So I'll just select one, fill, and you see this flash fill. I'll just click on that, and there you go. What I said to the machine was, hey, this is my data. So right next to it, I do not have space in the middle. So no space column in the middle. Just right next to it, I say, I want Michael out of this. And the machine said, oh, so you want everything before this space, everything before this space, you want it here. So then the machine took its decision and it just gave me this. Now I just say, I put man, go fill, flash fill, and it just did exactly the same for after the space. So now it's just one click. I didn't have to put any formula. I just did one click and I got all of this sorted out. Okay. You can also do flash fill from here. So data, flash fill. This is, let's try it out. So I want to create an email address. Okay, now assuming we do not have 10,000 businesses in our group, beautiful group, assuming that everybody has an email address of at motionasiapac.com. So what I do is I just write ACHAEL, Michael, exactly same meaning, dot man at motionasiapac.com. Now I've done this, yeah. This is turned into a link, so it'll be slight issue for those who are trying to select it. So I would just select the bottom and go into data and say flash fill. It doesn't appear to do it. Let's see if, let's work and try if we can do this. There you go. So I had to select the first one all the way down and the flash fill, and it has created the first name dot last name at motionasiapacific.com. So do you like it? Okay, Tracy has asked me a question. Okay, Tracy has sent me an email, so I'm just gonna okay, Tracy, what you have done is, I understand what you've done is you've added another space when you were writing Michael. There's another space that you've added here. If you could please go back and retry it. The machine is not, your machine is not learning what you're trying to say. Maybe if you just put the first two and then drag it and select do autofill, I'll do it again for you, okay? I'll do this one again for everybody. Just delete everything on the first one, please. Let's do it together. So I'm going to write the first one. I'm going to write Michael and no spaces. Yeah. The second one, I will write Evan. So now what I'm doing is I'm instructing the machine much more by adding the second one. Okay. So I will select the whole thing, including Michael and Evan, and I will press flash fill. And this should answer. Now, Tracy, if you, oh, okay, it worked with Tracy, voila. So Tracy is with us. Now I'm just gonna do the same thing, man and Macbeth. And I'm gonna do flash fill, and there you go. So now it's got everything in one click, okay? Same, we created the first one, and if it does not work, create the second one as well, and the machine will understand what you are trying to say. Okay. Now, this is, you see this Michael Mann and Peter Corliss, Paul McGuire. Now, these three have their initials smaller. So they have all small, and we don't like that. We like the proper. Proper means the first alphabet is capital. So what we will do is we will just write the first one in a proper way. So I capitalize M and M, and then I just select this and flash filled. Now, I understand there will be some differences with Macbeth B capital, but other than that, if you notice, Peter Collis is capital, Paul McGuire P&M is capital. Okay, if you're with me and you want me to go forward a little bit faster, please raise your hand and keep it raised. Okay. All right. Thank you. So now this is again all caps. I don't like all caps. I like it proper. It's just easier for the eyes to see. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to write the first one. I'm going to type it and I'm going to say flash fill. I didn't select it. So I need to select the entire column, flash fill, and it's made it easier. Life is super simple. Okay. Now here in E, we have the first name and the last name, and I want the full name. Yes. So now you could have gone into concatenate, but I don't want to. I will stay and do flash fill. So I'm going to say, Michael, please make sure that your spelling is correct. Otherwise it will not work. Michael Mann, and I will select the whole thing, including my first one, go for data and flash fill, and there you go. Okay. So as we notice, Peter Corliss is still in small, so I can actually add another column, say proper name. Just giving you an example. No, I don't think it'll do it because the machine will not understand. It will only understand if I do this on the one which is not capitalized. The one which is capitalized, it will understand. So if I do one, let's see if this works. Yes, it does. There you go. So what I did was I told the machine, hey, look at this one. I don't want it smaller. I want the first two capital. And then I just selected the whole thing and I flash filled it. It gave me proper names. Okay, quickly with me, raise your hand. Let's go forward. Thank you. Let's put down your hands. Thank you. Now I just want initials. I want just the initials. I'm doing a scenario in which I just need the initials of the two names. So I'm just going to do MM for simplicity's sake to make sure that the machine understands. I'm going to do the second one as well. And I'm going to just select the whole thing and I'm going to do flash fill. Voila, you have everything. And now because Jessica GE, Jessica has G and E capital, it's going to take all three. It's going to give you 3 alphabets. So now you have initials in 1 second. Okay. I have the sequence and the suffix. I want to join these two. I'm going to say 7189 dash P. I'm going to press enter and I'm going to select the whole thing and flash fill. It's now joined the two. Okay. This is the best one. I just write 23 here and I write 2 here. Now, month is a little critical. I'll explain to you why. Let me just do days first. So I'll select this and flash fill. So now I have the days. I'll centralize it for you. I have all the days taken out of the date. How beautiful is that in one click? And this could be thousands and thousands of entries. And you just do the first one and the second one and then press the shortcut, which I'll tell you later, and you will have it in 1 second. How much time has it saved you? Let's go forward. Now, this is a little difficult because if I say I want to, the machine will not understand. And the reason being, I'll tell you, go into data, flash fill. This does not take the month. If you notice this, the month here is 12, but it hasn't taken it. And the reason being that the month here was mentioned as 02. Okay, it's 02. So if I try to put 02, Excel doesn't take it because it's taking it generally. So here is a shortcut for you. Anytime you need to put a text, which means you need to put zeros before, you need to put an apostrophe 02. You put an apostrophe and it converts everything into text and the 0 remains. And if you've noticed, it's now converted, it's taken my months properly. As soon as I converted the first one into 02 by adding an apostrophe, it just said, oh, so you mean 02? It just took all the ones in the middle. Similarly, I'll just put 2020 and I'll say flash fill, selected. It's taken all the years. So I have the days, the month, the years all separated. Please remember, it'll take only because it's 02, it'll take only 02. And if you're with me, raise your hand. Okay, done. Now let's talk about this one. Yeah. Now this is amazing. This is how intense the artificial learning goes. I have a certain number hidden in every one of these fields. Yeah, I have a number everywhere. So, but I don't want the extra jargon around it. Sometimes you have these item numbers and the parts numbers, part numbers. We have like thousands of SKUs and all of those things, and you want a certain thing out of it. So I'll tell the machine, hey, machine, I just want 524476. I want the number out of this entire field. You see this? I just want this number, and I want this number and this number and this number and this number hidden with all of these different things, right? I don't want any text and I don't want any special items. So I'll just put this, there you go. In 1 second, you have, and these could be thousands and millions of entries. You have your number separated from the text. Did you like it or did you like it? Raise your hand. Awesome. How cool is that? So basically, flash fill is your artificial intelligence. I have a question. All right, Tracy, thank you. Yeah, it's not a question, it's more of a comment, and Tracy loves it. So thanks, Tracy. Okay, super. So my job is to make your job easier, simpler, faster, better, and save time. All right. So again, let's go back to our thing. We have a clean looking, good looking sheet in a table format. Anybody and everybody from the business can come and read it and would understand exactly what the sheet is trying to say. It's clean, it's good looking, it's got extra stuff hidden, it's got all the things that we require. We have our query set up. These are very, very important. You need to be sure of what you want. Famous quotation from Alice in Wonderland: if you don't know where you're going, you will never get there. Okay, so we've done flash fill. This looks good. Everybody is on board with it. Let's go back. Here we go. So we've done, so instead of split joining and extracting, we've done all of that by flash fill. And this is, we've used it this way. Let me just give you another option. Now, you see this one, Celine from operations has been kind enough to share this data with me. Now, I have kept this for you to practice. I have a few questions. Is this impact? No, it does not. Andre has asked me, Andre, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, please forgive me. Andre has asked me if does the flash fill impact the size of file? No, it does not. It's a simple entry which is going inside. It's not a macro which is increasing your file size. So don't worry about it. Okay. So the B1, this particular sheet, the PO line report, I've just added it. So for you to be able to play around with it, again, I would want you to clean it, convert it into a table, clean the headings, and create queries. Suppose you are in operations and suppose you're presenting this to SLT, how and what you would present, create the queries around it. Ensure that all the headings are there, remove and hide all the headings which are not required, and just try to play around with it. See, Excel is like learning to drive a manual car. Okay, just curiosity, how many of you can drive manual? Let me see the count. Don't raise your hand. Don't lower your hands, please. I want to see the count. How many? Oh, quite a lot of people, actually. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Driving a manual car, the first time you drove, you're probably looking down on your gear every time you had to change it. And now it does. If you drive, you're probably not even realizing that you're changing gears, right? So it's simple. Similarly, Excel is like that. The more you practice it, the more you get better on it. The more diverse data you work on it, the better you get at it. So that's why I gave you one sales report and one operations report, so that you can actually try to figure it out, play around with it, see what you can do with it, and really help the senior leadership take a decision on it. Okay, so this is just for you to practice. This is an actual report, and try to play around with it. Okay, so let's go back and see what we have more. Shortcut of the month. It's time for shortcut of the month. What is the shortcut? So for this flash fill, because we've been redoing flash fill a lot, instead of going up and wasting your half a second, you're going to press Control E to do that. Okay, so Control E, let me just show you how it happens, how it works. I'm going to go back into flash fill. I'm going to, let's say I'm going to take this one. Okay, and delete it. I'm going to do 7189-P, and I'm going to say Control E. See how quickly that was? I didn't have to go to my mouse, hold it, take it, click on data, click on flash fill. I didn't have to do anything. I just did Control E and voila. You have your, not only is your time saved by all of those formulas and things you don't have to put in, but you don't even have to touch your mouse anymore. And you're saving that millisecond as well. Okay. So do you like the shortcut of the day? Raise your hand, please. Great. Right. So there is a question. Oh, Luis, thank you. So Luis likes it. Now, I'm trying to sort of getting you guys excited about next week. Why? Because we have next week is our dashboard, and we're going to be using the sales report, and we're going to be creating a dashboard. So what I would like to throw you a challenge. Okay. Now the challenge is you guys work on the sales report and create a dashboard, or rather, I'll tell you what, I've made it easier for you. Don't do that. Okay. I have a challenge for you. Work on the invoicing report, the PO report, the operation one, this one. Okay. Clean this sheet up, one. Create the queries, two, and try creating a dashboard. Let's see how good you are at it. And then if I like it, I would learn from you, and I would take all the good parts and share it with everybody else. And then I will also show you what I have in mind for this. And it's going to be one hell of a dashboard, which you're going to be super proud of. And it's going to show everything on one piece of one sheet, and you're going to be doing great. All right. So yes, we're doing the dashboard next time around. So please make sure you, as soon as I send the invite, you register for it. Please tell everybody to register for it. And if anybody has to, there are some prerequisites for the dashboard. You should be able to know pivot tables, slicers, conditional formatting, and all of those things. We have done all of those things in our previous videos, and they are all available on our SharePoint page. I'm just going to quickly show you where the SharePoint page is. So this is our SharePoint, sorry. This is our SharePoint page. I'm just going to go into homepage. Okay, anyway, I'll just give you the link of the SharePoint page. This is the new HR SharePoint page. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? The L&D, the recruitment, the payroll and safety, everything there. All policies are here. For any questions, you can contact us. And so if you click on L&D, you go straight into what is L&D and what are we doing? What is the next session? So this is today's session happening here. But if you click on here, Club Excel, you would be able to see all the different videos, recordings of previous uh, stuff that we have done. So I'm going to quickly share with you this page. It's also on the main page. So after this webinar, I'm going to send you an email with the link, and you should be able to see the new HR page. Going to L&D. It's very easy to scroll. I'm just going to show you a few other things while I have you. If you go into payroll, you will be seeing the payroll team. You can connect with the payroll team. You have all of these questions answered. So ADP, leave, super, timesheets, others, just a question. I want to log into ADP, just click on it. It'll open a PDF document and tell you how to do it very easily in steps. Okay, so this is our new approach. In HR, we just want to save you time and effort. We don't want to just club everything together. We just want to keep everything clean and clear. Similarly, if you go on to the safety page, this is the safety team. You can contact them, and then you need to report an incident. You click here, a very beautiful form opens up. It's very easy. These are the toolbox talks, blah, blah, blah. These are some charts from MTIs, LTIs, motor vehicle incidents, and you should be able to see all the team here. I hope you like this. Yes, I do have. Ian has asked me if I have the Excel example sheet. So I will be, good idea, Ian. What I'll do is I'll just put it up next to each of these sessions. I'll put up the Excel file, so you should be able to catch them. Good idea. Thank you very much. So let's close our session for today. We've just gone a little bit over our time. Today we've done cleansing. We've done the queries, and we've done the filling the missing part. We actually did flash fill in this. The shortcut of the day was flash fill E. Now there is a custom currency code. Sometimes the $ comes before. I think I'll explain to you later in the next session. Let's not do this time around. But if you're interested in custom currency codes, I'll share with you later. So thank you very much, everybody. And we are going to do our last part, which is important for us to understand how we're doing. If you could please answer this question, it will help us understand if you're going in the right track. If this session helped you in any way, and help you save time and effort, it will be really, really helpful for us going forward. And I look forward to doing the dashboard with you. It's going to be awesome. In fact, later on, I'm happy to help out each one of you individually and spend time with you to make your own dashboard amazing and better. And imagine if you have your own dashboard and it's already on a shared drive, your manager does not even have to ask you what is up and what you're doing. You can have all of your things on your dashboard. How does that sound? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And this is goodbye. See you.